Let me make sure we're online. The cameras are probably all over the place. Yes, you're a bit too... You're close enough.
It'll do for now.
You're close enough. You can maybe change your camera to try and adjust it. Can you see? That's it. Oh, look at that, beautiful. That's it. Leave it like that. That'll do.
You're happy with that?
That'll do for now. Yeah, that'll do for now. I have to work on that. Yeah, I worked on that little. Believe it or not, the monkey tail thing and with our Twitter handles took me 5 minutes to do. Trying to get the cameras to align together at the same time. Forget about that. That's a lot harder. All right, let's start the podcast. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Monkey Tail Podcast. I am your host, Bruno Pinto, and with me as ever, I have my friend / co-host, Mr. Marius Dunkley. How are you doing, sir?
I am good, thank you.
Are you excited for another podcast?
Always excited for a podcast.
All right, I'm gonna do something which is potentially dangerous. Yeah, but I'm just gonna go for it. Yeah. Next podcast, we're gonna have somebody new with us on the podcast.
Whoa! What?
Somebody, and Marius is going like, "Hang on a second, is it the first time I'm hearing this?"
Not approved.
I'm gonna say this to you, Marius. You have approved this person before. We've been trying to get her for a long time.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, but I have spoken to her personally yesterday, and on the next podcast, I think we're finally hooking the great. That's all I'm gonna say. The great new podcaster to.
Excellent news. That's exciting.
At least for one podcast, we'll see how it goes. But potentially, we'll see what we're gonna do. That's all I'm gonna say for now. This is at the top there of the podcast.
Good.
So that's the idea.
Let's try not to scare them off like we do all our other co-hosts.
let's try not to scare anyone off. Let's. Now, let's start the show, as we always do, with an opening question. And you have the opening question for us today, Marius, which is?
What is the worst video game peripheral you've ever purchased?
I'll start.
Or I will also take the worst video game peripheral, but I'm interested in the worst one that you purchased.
The Series 2 Xbox Elite controller. Now, some keen-eared listeners among you who probably go like, Bruno, hang on a second, rewind. What did you say that that's the best controller ever made and the best gaming controller you've ever played with? Yes, it is. It's the best controller I've ever had. But my God, do they break after a while? Yeah. So my Series 1 controller, the Series 1 I had, the bumpers broke. I had to change the bumpers. This one here, RB stopped working. Go to change under warranty. No, it's 2 months too late for changing it. I had to open the thing up. Oh man, it took me forever to try and fix it. Finally managed to get it to work perfectly after a lot of and by the way, this is quite a hard thing to open. And then the A button now is going a bit to think. This is a 150 quid controller.
That is poor, isn't it?
So it's the best and the worst. I'll tell you what. If the new PlayStation 5 Sense controller had the offset sticks, I would have bought it in a heartbeat to replace this one. That's how pissed off that pissed me off. But anyway, I managed to fix it. When it's full working at 100%, going all things, that's a beautiful controller. But my God, the reliability and looking online or looking for solutions, I'm not the only one. It's a thing. They had to extend the warranty from 90 days to by the way, 90 days. What's this 90 day warranty?
90 days is pathetic for that sort of thing.
They're taking the piss.
Taking the piss.
They had to go from 90 days to 1 year. But testament to how good it is when it's working. That looking at all the controllers available, I was like, I'm just gonna have to get another one, I guess, because that's what I mean. That's the testament to the other part. So that's mine for game peripherals.
Sorry, I think we have to do a follow-up question as well. Mm-hmm. What's the best peripheral you've ever purchased?
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Is it the same answer?
Actually, no.
That is the best and the worst.
No. The best peripheral I ever bought, it's my gaming chair. Now, the reason for that is, first of all, this one is like probably like 5 years old now. Easy. We bought it when we went to EGX.
Mm-hmm.
I went from playing. I used to be a couch player, console player, and then I used to go play on my PC for a bit. And after I had like one of those shitty office chairs, and after playing for like an hour, so my back would hurt, and it just was not comfortable. I can game on this. Well, when we do 24-hour gaming marathon, I can game on it for 24 hours and absolutely no issues. Nothing has changed my posture, my the support it gives, my lumbar support, neck support, everything, and the way all the different things you can do with it. A good gaming chair can really change your gaming sessions, actually. So yeah, gaming chair is my answer, I think. Yeah.
Good answer.
Thank you.
Good answer. For the worst, I think I would have to go with the Mega CD.
So the Mega CD, yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
that was. I mean, there were some quite cool games on there, but only one or two. I played it very little. It was one of those. I was young and
There was a Kojima
drawn in by the marketing.
There was a Kojima game on there. Or am I going completely crazy?
Yeah, I think
the Blade Runner
was it on there.
Or isn't it?
Snatcher, it's called.
That's it. Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, I think it might have been Mega CD. Yeah,
I'm gonna.
I never had it. But yeah, mostly just basically updates of normal Mega Drive games that basically were the same game but had better sound because it was on CD. That was about it. And then a lot of FMV games.
Yeah, no, it's a terrible peripheral. And by the way, I've recently realized I have a laptop next to me, so we're gonna be doing some fact checking going forward. Only if I can quickly type it. Yes, it was most definitely a Mega CD title, the Snatcher.
Yeah, and I can't remember how much they were, but I'm sure it was way more expensive.
Did you go to the 32X as well? Did you go?
I did not. I learned from my mistake with the Mega CD. Formerly of this parish, Lloydie was a 32X owner.
Yes.
Me and him have laughed about that many a times. Yeah, I did the Mega CD, and I learned.
You learned from your mistakes.
That was a mistake, definitely.
Very good. No, I completely see where you're coming from on that one.
And I think the best peripheral has to be VR. You could argue that's a display unit rather than a peripheral, but I'm going with it and saying
when you asked me the question and it was sprung on me, I did strictly looked at my VR headset down there. Then I looked at my ultra wide monitor and I was like, and as my chair was swiveling, I'm like, no, the chair, actually. But both of the ultra wide and certainly the VR headset is.
In fact, sorry, just things popping into my head. Going back to the Mega CD era, that was an era of some pretty piss poor peripherals. Actually, there was a lot of. In fact, right back to like the SNES and NES days. I remember it was around the time. It might have even been for the Mega CD. Was it for the Mega CD or the Mega Drive? But there was this thing like it was an octagon, I think, of plastic that you'd put on the floor that you stood in, and it like had infrared beams at certain points on it. The idea is like you'd punch through the beams to like do attacks and things like that. It's just awful. I just don't think it worked at all.
I mean, I didn't own it, but apparently a bit further on, a few years after that, not many years though, the Tony Hawk's skateboard apparently was pretty shit as well.
Yeah, it's wow.
There's been some bad peripherals, and obviously some very good ones. Certainly, in terms of a gaming advantage, for me, a mechanical keyboard, a one-to-one mouse. One-to-one mouse meaning responds to each single moment. And obviously certainly a high refresh rate monitor. Those things give you an advantage in gaming, no shadow of a doubt. But advantages to me personally, to my health and everything. Yeah, chair for me. But yeah, there's been some great stuff. But going about on the add-ons to consoles, there was one for the Nintendo 64 that went under the Nintendo 64. I'm sure of it. It was, and you could put Philips thing, and you could put CDs as well onto it.
Yeah, there was a couple of things forensic. I mean, there was the expansion pack, wasn't there? Like a memory expansion thing. I think just went in a slot in the top. I think the thing underneath, was it the disc drive thing?
Yeah,
I
that's
think
right.
it never got released over here though.
It's in
did
Japan
it?
only. Yeah, it was Philips something. I think it's Philips something or other it was called. Yeah. So that was there's been some crazy stuff. I kind of like that though. I kind of like the just bolt something on top of it. It's
till you end up like some fucking transformer monstrosity. Things hanging off it here, there, and everywhere.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Right. What's my phone? Okay, let's move on then. That's a good opening question. I think some good answers. To that looks interesting. This is the part of the show where we talk about the video game news. I'll start this one with Let's start with Sony. We have a couple of Sony bits there. So Sony has pissed off some of their internal teams, or certainly some of the workers on the internal teams, by pretty much saying that they're only focusing on their big AAA titles. Your Uncharted, your Last of Us. The guys, I'm forgetting the name of the company that did the other zombie game. I'm forgetting the name of the zombie game as well.
You mean Days Gone?
Days Gone, and I think is.
I can't tell you the name of the studio.
I think it's Head, the name of the studio. They were the Siphon Filter guys. And by the way, more on that, they did the Siphon Filter back in the day. As you know, I'm a big fan of Siphon Filter. I think they were called Head. Oh, you can have a Google, as I say. But
no, Ben.
Ben, that's it, Ben. They, because Days Gone didn't sell as much as it sold okay, but didn't sell as much as they wanted to sell. They're going like, no, we're not making a Days Gone 2. We want you to work on some on the Uncharted, on the Last of Us remake, because they're doing another remake for the PlayStation 5, and some of their more senior members of the team just left and to go and to do other, because. And this saddens me, because when I say things like Siphon Filter and Loco Roco and a lot of other games that PlayStation used to make, like some of those that didn't sell like the Uncharted, didn't sell like Last of Us, but they were really fun games. It does sadden me a bit that they're letting some of that talent go.
Yeah, yes. I think if there's not going to be as much focus on those interesting different games but I think that's been true for a number of years. To be fair, there hasn't been anything like that for a while from Sony. So I don't think that's necessarily news. I think that's the way it's been for a while. I think the whole Ben thing is very different, because the way I interpret that is studio make a game doesn't get good reviews and it generally isn't considered a good game doesn't sell very well, they ask to do a sequel. Sony says, no, it wasn't good enough, you can't do a sequel.
Right.
They leave because they were pissed off because they wanted to do a sequel. That to me, well, game should have been better first time round, shouldn't it? I guess there may be all sorts of reasons as to why it didn't hit those standards, but I think that thing is a bit different. That's like that they were just annoyed because they wanted a second shot.
Yeah,
and Sony were like, "Well, no, it wasn't good enough."
There's many examples of games that the first shot wasn't quite right, and then the second shot was like Mass Effect, for instance. Mass Effect, the second one, mind you, I think I think the first one was probably successful anyway. That's probably
I think it was, and I think at the point of Mass Effect 1, if you'd asked the game buying public, would you be interested in a Mass Effect sequel? The vast majority of people would say, yes, I would be interested in a sequel.
Yeah.
How many people do you think would say, yeah, I'm interested in a Days Gone sequel?
I mean, I haven't played Days Gone yet. I will. I'm considering getting it on PC actually, because I don't own the game on any console. So on PC sounds like a good place to play as any. It's coming out in May. So maybe it sounds like my type of game, really. But to be fair, I kind of just want them to do Siphon Filter anyway. I still love Siphon Filter back in the day. That was a good game,
It was great, yeah.
I still love that. Right, so that's one bit of news from Sony, but I think you're right. I think the trend has been like that for a while now.
Yeah.
And I guess my other question is on that, just before we move on, is then that sort of interesting titles, are we going to start seeing them more now from Microsoft? Because if you look at Microsoft, like they did that they released that Grounded game straight away. As soon as they bought Obsidian, they were like, yeah, just bring that up. Like, so are they gonna let their teams work on some more? Because obviously that's not been very successful either. But are they just gonna let their teams work on a few more like small projects, or you think they're gonna do the same? I think. By the way, I think the answer is they will let them work on more variety of games because they want to get the Game Pass.
Yeah, they will, but I think like that's the whole point of the internal studios, isn't it? Is to work on these big, massive, popular blockbuster releases. That's why they have these internal studios. Yes, it's nice to have some of the other more niche, smaller games that are interesting but not as commercially successful. But that's not what they're about. They've got partnerships with indie developers and publishers and things like that to get those sort of games on their console. So I think those games get on the console, but not necessarily through the first party stuff.
Right. No, I think it's probably right. Right. So the next one here, we have the MLB update.
So just last podcast we were talking about how Sony had allowed MLB the show onto Game Pass and how
it was damaging.
That was interesting decision. We were wrong. So Sony didn't basically allow it. That was all down to the licensing with MLB, and MLB the was it Major League Baseball were the ones that actually made that decision, and Sony were like, nothing to do with us and nothing we could do about it.
No, that's absolutely right. So you're right. We were wrong in saying that Sony had anything to do with it. But we did speculate that how could they do this? Like it's such a stupid move, and in this case, it wasn't so much for them to keep the license. They had to allow MLB. MLB has essentially the publishing rights, so they can decide where he goes. That's part of their license agreement. And MLB were like, yeah, we'll take the Microsoft money because we're in the business of making money here. And they wanted a bigger, even though it was a popular game for Sony. It's not as popular as a multi-platform game could be, like a FIFA and stuff. So they wanted a wider audience. So that's why they did that. And Microsoft. Very cleverly invested on that. By the way, that wasn't an accident. Microsoft knew exactly what they were doing with that one. Yeah, I think Microsoft, like I said before, they're doing a lot of right plays, and that was one. But they was smirking when I was signing that contract, going like, Sony are gonna hate this one. And it's true. Fair play to them. Right, right, we got a bit more news here. So. Resi 4 in VR. Is that what you've been playing? Because I see Resi 4. No, it's Resi 7. I see. Okay, never mind.
No, they did a an update on loads of Resident Evil stuff. I didn't watch it because I don't really want to see anything more of the new one. I was going to play the demo for the new one, Resident Evil Village. However, the demo is an absolute clusterfuck. It is ridiculous. I don't understand all of it, but something along the lines of there are two separate demos. You can play 60 minutes of time across those two demos. So you could play one for 60 minutes, or you could split 30 minutes and 30 minutes across those demos. The demos are also only available for 8 hours on one particular day. Like one demo has 8 hours on one day, and another one and outside of those times you cannot play those demos anymore. I think today is one of them. I don't know. I just looked at it and it's like, I'm not even going to bother trying. I quite like to play a demo, but can you just give me the demo and let me play it when I'm able to play it, please?
Right.
What a ridiculous idea.
Actually, I want you to talk about Resi 4 VR, but I want to touch on the demo thing in a second. But yeah, carry on with the.
Yeah, so the demo of the new one is ridiculous, but yeah, I thought interesting news. They are releasing a VR version of Resident Evil 4, that will obviously all be in first person. It's on. The bummer for me is that it's exclusive to the Oculus Quest 2, which is a bit of a shame, because I don't have one and I'm not going to be buying one.
No, you can use. You can use. Can you not use?
You probably can use Revive, but I tend to just things tend to not work too well on that from my experience. So yeah, I potentially could do it, but I think it's cool that they're doing it. I'm interested to see. Like, it's always, I think, a bit hit and miss when games not designed for VR are then ported to VR.
VRified, I think is the term. Yeah.
VRified, yeah. But I think the fact that they're excuse me, that they're going full first person with it does spread hope. I mean, it looks terrible. it still looks old in terms of graphical flourishes and whatnot. I don't think it looks good. But yeah, like doing that first scene at the beginning against the Chainsaw Man in VR.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds fun, doesn't it?
It sounds a lot of fun. I'm actually. I would like to try that actually. The Resi 4 in VR. In fact, I'd probably like to play Resi 4 again because that's such a good game. Where are we in the Resident Evil spectrum? So, which one is now your top Resident Evil game? If you had to pick one, I know I'm putting you on the spot. If you want, as you think about it, I'm just gonna go and say it. I think it's the Resi 2 remake.
Yeah, I knew you'd be saying that. Yeah.
I honestly think so. I mean, don't get me wrong. Resi 4 is great. I think Resi 1 is great. The remake, of course, because it's better. The remake. I think a lot of them are good, but I think it's the remake of the 2. I think that's.
Yeah, you might be right.
That's the mark, man. That's the mark.
Yeah. I think I'd need to play 4 again. It's been a while since I've played 4. Like, it's one of those I have like, I remember it as being brilliant, but it's been a little while since I played it. So yeah, I'd perhaps like to replay 4 again, but
yeah, I mean, I need to replay 4. But more on replaying games in a bit when you get to the playlist. On the demo front, you were talking about the demos. Another bit of news is the E3 is back this year. E3 back. Yeah, E3's back, baby. Yes, we're excited. Because it's digital, we might be able to go to E3 for the first time. You and I.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, demos and stuff.
I'm gonna see what we can do. I'm gonna contact them and see if we can get some press, whatever they are. But does that mean if we can get it? Does it mean we play the demos? Are they gonna be that bullshit as well? Like you were saying, it's only available this time, or like somebody comes and taps you in the shoulder. Sorry, your time is over. Like in a real game show. Or
Well, I think there's going to be more demos available for everybody. To be fair, I think that's how they're going to do it. So I think everyone will get ability to play some demos this time.
Awesome. No, I'm excited that they're bringing everything. I like E3. Okay, I know it's dying, but I like E3. I like the fact that you have the conferences all in the same week. I like that. I like the announcements.
So yeah, it's the entire opposite of the Resident Evil Village demo. I know exactly when shit's gonna be. I know it's in this time. I have and I have the ability to do it whenever I want because I can watch it. I can watch replays of the conferences. So yes, love it.
Fantastic. And finishing up the news, this is exciting for me because there's 2 terms there that excite me greatly. The first one is 4K. 4K always excites me. I don't know why, you know. And the other one is Time Splitters 2. By the way, out of the 3, is the best one. Time Splitters 2.
Oh, absolutely, without
just throwing out there. Okay. Oh, no, you're not questioning me on that one. Okay, fine.
No.
You're accepting.
There is no question. There's no argument. There's nothing to be said.
I used to absolutely own. I used to play against my sister and a couple of friends, and it would be them three versus me, split screen. I could see where they were, obviously, yeah, and they would not touch me. They would get together, try and get rocket on all three at the same time. If they were separated, my god, it's like lamb to slaughter. I just destroy them on that. Still love that game.
It was great.
So what is this? Is this a remake or a remaster?
No. So this came from, there was some tweet about like that went around the video game development community about like what's your greatest achievement in game development, and one of them said hiding a fully playable version of 4K version of Time Splitters 2 in Homefront: The Revolution. Because that was done by the same studio that did Time Splitters, and apparently there's an arcade machine in one of the levels in that game, which previously, as part of the normal game, you were able to play the first couple of levels of Time Splitters 2 just as a little Easter egg. But actually, the full game, I'm not sure about all the multiplayer stuff, but certainly like the full single player game is actually unlockable within that game. But he said, I can't remember the code to unlock it. And then he said, actually, I did tell somebody else the code, and he put it on a Discord chat, like for a Discord Time Splitters fan chat or something, but they thought he was bullshitting and banned him from the chat because they thought he was being a dickhead.
That's so funny.
So the code was lost, but since this has gone round, the code has now come to light. So it is it is now possible to play a 4K version of Time Splitters. I mean, you have to play through the vast majority of Homefront: The Revolution to get to it, which I understand is yeah. Although I guess if you're playing it on Steam for something, you could probably download a save file. So yeah, watch this space. I might be giving some serious consideration to getting me a copy of Homefront Revolution.
I'm writing it now down. Where's my pen? I'm gonna Homefront. Okay, I don't have a pen. But Homefront Revolution. That's happening. Okay, that's good. Fantastic. Right, that's excellent. I love the fact that they banned him just because they thought he was talking shit. That's hilarious. Love it. All right, okay. Let's move on then to the playlist now. Playlist is part of the show where we talk about the games we've been playing the last couple of weeks. And can I start? Let me start with Hellpoint. Hellpoint. What is Hellpoint, you ask? Hellpoint is a it's Dark Souls, basically, right?
God's sake.
No, Hellpoint is a heavily Souls-inspired game, right? So you can leave messages for players saying, shortcut ahead and stuff.
Dark Souls box tick number 1.
You kill the enemies, but if you go back and restore at the restore point, restore your health, all the enemies come back.
Tick.
The enemies are quite tough, and they can fuck you up if you're not careful. Not keep ticking.
Yeah.
You go through the level and you unlock shortcuts to make the next run easier without having to go through all the mobs. Ba. I was playing it, and first of all, what I'll say is, because this is Dark Souls, I played all three of them, and they're three fantastic games, as you know. But the PC ports have never been super good. They've never been good at making PC ports. So I'm playing this Hellpoint, and I'm playing it in ultra wide, 120 frames, smooth as anything. I'm like, this looks really good, and it looks good. They got like some fake ray tracing going on, and it's just like looks good. And then I'm going through it's like you're going through this spaceship, and first of all, I'm not understanding the lore. I'm liking the game, but I'm not understanding the lore. It's just all the enemies are cool, but so many hidden paths, and they're trying to do the Dark Souls thing of everything is connected, but you have to unlock this only opens from the other side, or you need to lower that, etc. And I'm trying all of that, and I'm by the way, I played like 7-8 hours of it, yeah, and this is where my controller broke, and then. But I'm really liking it, and I'm like, this is good, but everything looks the same. Like let me. I need to go and play Dark Souls to try and understand. If I'm being unfair here. And I've recently, last year I've replayed the whole of Dark Souls 1, all the bosses on stream. So I was like, my options were Dark Souls 2 or 3, and I haven't finished. I finished 2, but I hadn't finished 3 actually. Because I don't know why, I don't know what happened, but I got to the second from last boss on 3. I think I know what happened. I think I got my ass kicked like a few times and just left it. So I slapped Dark Souls 3 with the full intention of I'm gonna play for an hour or two, just refamiliarize myself and try and understand why Hellpoint is great, but why is not on the upper. What's the differentiator? Why is Dark Souls so much better? And I finished the game. Like I've played the whole game. But then I realized that I hadn't played the DLC, so I downloaded the DLC as well. But what is the difference? Okay, first of all, the bosses. Yeah, the boss design on the Souls games, I think, is some of the best boss design on any game. That's for starters. Not just on their look, but the art of the movements they do, the different attacks that they do, the choreography behind it, it's just great. All the enemy design is truly excellent. But then when it comes to the level design, and this is where I think I'm forgetting his name now, but the game director of the Souls game is a genius. It's the level interconnectivity more in Dark Souls 1 than in 3, but 3 is great as well. It's that thing of you got to you have to fight like 30 difficult mobs, but then you go here and you can lower the stairs now. So now you can go up the ladder and bypass that part and make it easier run to the boss. So yeah, I've played the whole game and for the second time this year, I was saying a lot of, oh, that's clever. Oh, that's good. Because after we played, obviously, it takes two. I think, I don't know why I never finished Dark Souls 3 in the first place. I think, like I said, I think it's because the second from last boss was absolutely owning me. But this time, look, I was looking at my save, because then I was able to go to my save and check what I was before. I got to the same place 20 hours earlier and about 10 levels higher. So I played a much better game. And I did a slightly different build, because my previous build, I had like a sword which was did a lot of damage. I mean, it did like I think about 150 damage more than the one I was using on this second playthrough. But the one on the second playthrough is a lot faster. And the thing is with Dark Souls, compared to the 3, compared to the first one, is the enemies are a lot faster. So you need something that can. It's not so much about the making the big damage with each hit. Is making the multiple hits or being able to hit quickly and then just dodge. So I was able to dispatch the boss like he wasn't there. And then I started on I haven't done the final boss yet because I wanted to start on the DLC before the game finishes. So anyway, so I was playing it again. I actually think this is one this is a game I think you would like playing. I honestly think you would like this. This is up there as one of the best games I played in a long time. Dark Souls 3. It's I know I'm talking about a 5-year-old game now, but that game is truly spectacular. Actually, the scenery, the action scenes, the boss fights, it's good. Anyway, so that's Dark Souls 2 and Hellpoint. Now, Hellpoint. Do I recommend Hellpoint? Absolutely, I do. If you like the Souls game, Hellpoint is a great game, and you should absolutely play it. It has everything. It's so close to Dark Souls that they take a lot of the good points and from other games as well. Certainly there's things like you can find blueprints and then you can print them on a 3D printer, so you can make swords. You can upgrade swords, and you can do a lot of cool stuff like that. Hellpoint is great. And I know I started talking about Hellpoint and then move on to Dark Souls 3, but I'll finish on a Hellpoint. Hellpoint is if Dark Souls is all the games and Dark Souls is a 10 or 9 or a 10, Hellpoint is that perfect 7 out of 10 game, if that makes sense. It's absolutely fine. It's a great game to play. Lots of fun to be had, lots of content, lots of support from the devs. It's a fantastic game. It's not Dark Souls, but it's great. it's actually really good as well. So yeah, that's Hellpoint and Dark Souls. Right, let's move over to you. You've been playing Genesis Noir.
Yes. What a cool game. I really love this. It's available on Game Pass. It's like it. It's a quantum physics based point and click adventure.
That's a box quote.
A noir. Sorry, a noir thriller. Quantum physics based point and click adventure. I mean, if that doesn't sell you on it, then fuck. There's no point me telling you anything else. But I mean, I think first of all, the style of this game is absolutely brilliant. The way it looks, I think, it is astonishing. Sort of black and white style, does some crazy weird stuff with the camera. You're in a sort of noir thriller style, you are trying to sort of solve a murder, but then there's all sorts of this space time stuff going on, and like just does some like real cool little things. Like for example, like it doesn't do it many times, but like in the first room, when you're moving your mouse cursor, not pressing any buttons, but like you can hit a vase and knock it off the shelf just as you're moving the cursor over the screen to find the interactable stuff, which
Nice.
things like that were pretty cool. Like you can so some of the puzzles and things, like basically spinning the sun and moving the sun around to change from day to night to make differences. Pruning a space bush was one of the things that you had to do.
All right.
Just yeah, I so enjoy. I played it through in one day.
Wow.
I think it's about 5 hours long, something
Oh.
like that. Just went for it in one sitting.
You know,
It was yeah, really good. I think my only complaints are that the final hour was a bit slow and you weren't really doing much in that final hour. Um, and I had a bit of a bug with it. At one point, the cursor changed to just a tiny little dot. I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, and I wasn't sure. Sometimes games do that sort of thing, don't they? And I was
yeah.
like, it's so hard to click on anything and see whether it's an interactable or not. I was like, I've got it's like it was hurting my eyes, so I had to stop the game and restart. But I highly recommend this. I think you should play this game.
Uh, uh, yeah.
And I think it's one of those. Don't watch anything on it. I think just play the game.
I have 2 comments, 3 maybe. Yeah, I think I will give this a go. I think it sounds like a bit of me as well. But I was going through one of the PR websites looking at games coming out for review, and I saw this there, and I read the description, and immediately I said, "This is a bit of Marius." And I was gonna request it, and then I noticed it was coming out on Game Pass.
Yeah,
I was like,
I did the same thing. See, I read the Edge review, and I was like, I was getting my my phone out to send you a message to say I need a review code for this, and then I saw in the Edge review it's Xbox, and I was like, oh, is it Game Pass? Yes, it is. Boom, done.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was about 30 minutes from reading review to starting playing the game, and that was it. I never stopped.
So is it Microsoft published this one then?
Yeah, I don't know.
But this is what I'm saying about going back early about the Sony thing. I don't know if Microsoft are going to be doing more of these type of games as well to try and bulk up the old Game Pass and make it a good well, it's already a great value, but even better.
Oh, excellent soundtrack as well. Nice little sort of jazz soundtrack going on there. Really good. Highly recommend.
Very good. Right, let's move over to. I've been playing First Class Trouble. Have you heard about this?
I have never heard of it before.
There was a big game recently on streaming and everything called Among Us. You probably heard about that.
Yes.
I haven't played Among Us. I haven't seen anything about it. But my understanding on Among Us is you have some intruders, some baddies among you, and then you have to point them out. This is what First Class Trouble is. However, First Class Trouble is you play with 6 players online inside a spaceship, and two of them are I'm forgetting the name of another, but they're the baddies essentially, right? And 4 are residents. And if you're a resident, you don't know who the other residents are. If you're one of the baddies, you know who the other baddie is, right? That's for starters. So you have to work together to try and escape. But at the same time, if you're one of the bad guys, you need to try and kill or sabotage the escape, right? And so I started playing this game, and it's a lot of fun because the first thing you do is you do what I did with Phasmophobia. You go onto voice chat only. You don't do the so let's say I'm playing and you're a resident and I'm one of the bad guys. If I kill you, I don't want you to go like, oh, Bruno just killed me. You know, if I kill you, I shouldn't be able to hear anymore, right? So you cannot tell the other guys who killed you, right? But it just brings a lot of fun. So to give you an example of one of the things that happened, I was one of the baddies. And we were playing, and we lost a couple players. So we had a couple of new players came in, like just random players. And one of them was this guy, Immortal Donut. His name is, because he came and joined the Discord afterwards. We actually played some games with him afterwards. Cool guy. But anyway, playing with him, and I'm like, so I'm the bad guy, and he's obviously the resident. So I'm gonna try and kill him, but I need to try and gain his trust. Right? So we going together. We doing tasks together, like fixing the oxygen together. I'm like going through everything together. I'm helping him get some oxygen to get, because you have to keep replenishing the oxygen, doing everything, and then when I get his confidence, we both go into a closet together to fix the oxygen. He turns his back on me, and I go and I stab him. He goes like, no! You just hear him going like no, and then he dies. You know, that type of stuff. Yeah, it's so much fun, the deception you can do in this. Another one, you have to get key cards to open the doors in between the levels. And another guy we play with, Danny, he's like, he's got the card. I got the card. He's like running towards to put the card in, and I'm hiding on top of on this balcony next to this button that drops the chandelier. And as soon as he goes to put the card, I drop the chandelier on top of his head, and he just dies. And then I just run away, and then I go there. I'm like, what happened to Danny? You know, like that type of stuff. The deception. But at the end of each level, you can choose to put somebody in the airlock and just throw them out, which is great. So and that's when the big like, whoa, what are you doing? It's not me, you know. Oh, I think I saw you sabotage something. No. But if you're a baddie, you can go like, oh, I'm sure I've seen Unflushable trying to sabotage the thing. No, I didn't. No, yeah, no, I think you did. If you can try and vote the actual residents out. It's so much fun. It's as much fun as it sounds. I promise you.
It does sound like a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's all about deception. And there was one as well. So just there's another example as well. There was one with Aristo. He was playing with Aristo. You know Aristo. He did one of the funniest things ever. So he was one of the baddies with somebody else. And the other person that was one of the baddies threw me in the water, and you cannot swim, so you start drowning. And I'm like, I'm drowning. He shows up, and the only thing he has to do is walk away, because it's, you know, I'm gonna drown, yeah. So he throws me a floatable to get me out of the water. I come out of the water. I go running to the other people. Go like, yeah, the other guy is the baddie. So we grab him and we choke him to death, because you have to get two people to choke him to death. He goes to he dies. I'm like, okay, it was definitely one, because he pushed me in the water. So he's dead. So there's one more. Who's the other one? And then it was me. I think it was me, Unflush, and Risto. So I'm like, okay, Risto saved me, so it can only be Unflushable, right? So we airlock Unflushable. He goes. And I'm like, fantastic, we won this. And then Risto goes and stabs me in the back. I'm like, oh, how genius is that? You save me from the water, and then you go and stab me in the back at the last minute.
Yeah.
So that's the type of game you can do stuff like that. It's honestly, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, so that's First Class Trouble. And oh yes, in terms of the looks, it's so shaded, like 50s style, like it's a spaceship, but like 50s style, like Art Deco kind of thing, like your like your Bioshock, like kind of look, but in space, but so it looks great. It's fun, and it's in early access at the moment. I couldn't recommend it highly enough. Only thing about it is you do need, it's online only, and you do need other players. You can play it. You can go just on your own and join a team.
Mondays, yeah.
But you can get absolutely if you join a team and there's playing with 5 friends, they might just gang up on you anyway. You know. But yeah, it's couldn't recommend highly enough. It's a fantastic game. Right, let's move over to your games. And you've been playing Unravel too. Is this Game Pass again?
Yes, it is. Now the EA stuff is on available on Game Pass. It's one I've been thinking of for a while, but never. Like, I played the first one and really enjoyed it. It was quite a sweet, enjoyable. So I guess 2.5D platformer. So I thought, yeah, now I've got the other one. I'll available on Game Pass. I'll give it a go. I mean, it's very standard. I mean, the changes that they made to this one is that they've introduced a second character. But I have to say, this is the most non-co-op co-op game ever. It's like after going from It Takes Two to this, wow, what a difference. I mean, firstly, it's own despite the fact that I downloaded it, obviously, via Game Pass. It's couch co-op only, and whilst I love couch co-op, it's like because I thought when I saw it, it's like, oh, we've just done It Takes Two. I thought, oh, maybe we could do another stream and co-op this. And I looked into it and like, nope, no, you can't.
You can
You
on
can't.
you can on Steam.
Yes, you can do it through Steam's share play thing,
Works really well.
but that is just
Stupid. Yeah.
it's well, yeah. I mean, all that's doing is pretending you're doing couch co-op, isn't it? It's not like normal
I know, no, but
online.
it's great you can do that on Steam though with a lot of
I
games.
thought
Yeah.
for a game that is essentially designed around co-op to actually not let you play co-op online was
Yeah, that is funny.
I don't know how they
Did
got
Nintendo
there.
make this game?
Yeah, yeah, it does seem very Nintendo. I mean, it's a pretty standard puzzle platformer. So, like I said, when obviously I played it on. I thought about should I play it with the wife, but I've only got the one controller, and the other option is for one person to play on the keyboard. And for that sort of game, I'm just not going to happen. So you have these two little woolen like characters made of yarn, made of string, and they're tied together. They can only go so far apart. Obviously, the string only stretches so far. So like you can throw your string over a thing, use it to swing on and pull the other character up and things like that. Create bridges with the string. Use the string to pull things over and things like that. And I mean, it's one of those like once you've done the first few puzzles, it is a bit like the solution to every puzzle is the same. There isn't much different going on there. I think the environments are brilliant, sort of very sort of quite photorealistic. Again, bit like It Takes Two. You're a small character, so like going through like a child's playground or something like that. And just sort of quite nice environments there. And I think this game wins the award for the latest ever introduction of a double jump mechanic in a video game. Because they wait to the very last level to introduce the double jump. I was like, really? Now? You've just done double jump and this is the last level. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that's funny. There's some games that introduce like fun mechanics only late as well. That's one. Seems mine is Half-Life 2 with the gravity gun only showing up towards the end, which should have been there from the beginning.
As well, there was a bit like that at the end of Alex as well, yeah. Wasn't there? Yeah. I think, but for such a standard basic platforming game, like it's a basic platforming game and the most basic of platforming mechanics. It just left till the end, which I thought was unusual.
That's funny.
But yeah, it's all right. It's one of those. Again, I think I played it. I did it basically in one sitting because I think it's only about 3 hours, something like that. 3, maybe 4 hours. But again, it's just one of those just nice games. I didn't need to think about it much. It was just a nice game to play. That did nothing special. Not going to win any awards for me.
Yeah.
But it was just nice, enjoyable game.
Very good indeed. All right. let's move on then. I mean, I haven't played the first one, so I don't know if I'm gonna. If it's couch co-op only, I don't think I'm gonna bother with the first one now. Being at
The first one I don't think does co-op. The first
huh.
one is just a single player. And I actually really enjoyed the first one. I thought it was a lot of fun. I don't think you'll be that into it, to
Mhm.
be honest. But again, it's on Game Pass, so give it a go. If you're not into it in 20 minutes, half an hour, then cool. I mean, it's one of those you'll know within
Yeah, yeah,
10
yeah.
minutes of playing it whether you want to carry on or not.
I'll tell you what I am thinking about playing again, and tell me I'm crazy. Yeah, I'm thinking about going to the Crisis again. Crisis 1, 2, and 3. I think that's a good little run.
That is good. Yeah, I am an hour with that. I've never done the third one. I did the
They're so
first two.
good.
Yeah, I think that might even be on Game Pass. I
It
saw it
is indeed.
somewhere
It is
recently.
indeed. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So who knows? Yeah, maybe you might find me on
The
Crisis
third
at
one with
some
the
point.
old bow and arrow is pretty good. In fact, I was thinking about making a video about best bow and arrow games, like top five, and Crisis is definitely there. I'll see.
Crisis up there. Do you remember when we had the year of the bow and arrow?
Yeah, so when Crisis came out. Yeah,
It was
yeah. Tomb Raider.
Crisis, Tomb Raider, Far Cry.
Yeah, Far Cry.
I
Yeah,
feel like I'm missing one as well. I
and
think there was another, and there just seem to be
I,
bows and arrows everywhere.
I need to get this top five ready anyway. Maybe you can help me with top five bow and arrow for my video. But I think number one is without shadow of a doubt. Do you know what I'm thinking for number one? It's
You're gonna say the lab?
yeah, of course. That's the best one, isn't it? That's awesome.
Yes, it is.
It's the best one. You can put fire on it, throw. It's yeah. I think that's the best one. I think the one in the lab, the VR one. But yeah, Crisis. Yeah, go through the Crisis. I think the first one is still a bit of an excellent game, actually.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you ever played on a PC, but because the last level on the consoles was forget about it. It didn't work very well, if you remember.
I don't know. I didn't have any issues with it. It worked. It did the job for me when I
Hmm,
played it.
fair enough. Right. Let's move on then to the next game we've been playing. Is Resident Evil 7?
Yes, well done. You can read Roman numerals.
The Roman numbers only go up to a certain amount, by the way. Did you know that? But you didn't know that,
No,
did you? See,
no, I didn't.
I just blew your mind, didn't I?
Well, I wouldn't say that, but
I'm gonna as you talk about it, I'm gonna see how much how
yeah,
much, how much they go
find me
to.
how high. Yeah, please. Yeah. So again, on Game Pass, I think we said before you played it a few podcasts ago, and I've been thinking about replaying it again, and I don't have it on. I think I bought a physical copy that I traded in, so I don't have it for the PSVR anymore.
Mhm.
Um, so played through it again. I mean, the start of it, I think it definitely misses, like loses out on some of the experience not playing this in VR. VR is definitely head and shoulders the best way to play this game. I mean, particularly at the start, there's a lot of bits playing it are very VR. You know, people stabbing, a bit like when you watch a 3D movie not in 3D. You can see all the bits that are designed, like things coming into the screen and things like that. And it's like, yeah, you definitely miss stuff by not being in VR. Um, and for me, the biggest thing was there are certain sections where there's an enemy that you have to hide from, and like in VR you can actually crouch down and peek out from behind a box to see whether they're coming or not, and doing that on a flat screen is just like there's no peek button, like you can't you it's just like you just move a bit to the left till you can slightly see around the edge of the box, and it's just it misses a bit there. Um,
I mean, if anything, you're just making me want to go and play Half-Life Alex again. Actually,
uh, but I absolutely love this. I think the move to first person works really well for Resident Evil. I love the standard sort of Resident Evil puzzles in there. I think the atmosphere is brilliant. Um, yeah, I was fully in straight away and knew that was it. I'm going all the way through this game again. Um, there are a couple of things that frustrate me a little bit with it. Um, Bloody unskippable cutscenes. In particular in boss battles. I suspect it's probably to hide some loading.
Good shot.
But like whenever you die in a boss battle, you have to go through the bloody introduction of the boss scene again, and it's like, I just, yeah, that really annoys me. But I think that's probably a technical limitation and a load thing. Um, I really miss the thing from the Resi Evil 2 remake where it's like, you don't need this item anymore. Do you want to get rid of it? I
Yeah.
think more like I love that. Just like it doesn't add anything for me to have all this shit that I don't know whether I need anymore. So
Absolutely. Especially in a game like this. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I like that. What it did do well is in a dark area, your torch just fucking comes on automatically, and you don't have to toggle torches on and off. I like that.
I don't know. I quite like the having to turn something on. It kind of like
nah,
adds
yeah,
adds to the
nah.
experience.
See, no, I prefer the
Also,
auto
in
torch.
Fallout, it meant Carrie had to play the first half of the game
Yeah.
in darkness.
And one thing that's just me being pedantic, and it's just one of the, some things in movies and games you can suspend your disbelief, and other things there's just certain things that you just can't see past it. And there was one cutscene where he whips out a knife to cut somebody free, and I'm like, I haven't got the fucking knife. The knife is in the item box because I'm not carrying it with me. Where did that knife come from?
Oh, I
And
see.
it was one of those that I found really jarring and annoying. But it's obviously a very, very small thing. But
But it is a small thing, but a great game designer like a Kojima or something would get to that, and then he'll just pull like shit, and it wouldn't have
yeah,
it.
find something else, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
or yeah, a
yeah,
way
yeah,
around that if you didn't have it.
yeah.
But love it. And you asked earlier about my favorite Resident Evils. I think this is in the top three.
Okay, what's your top three then?
Probably, well, the Resi 2 remake and 4 are probably 1 and or 2, depending on like
On the day,
I'm not sure. And then I think this one next.
over Resi 1.
Yeah,
Wow, great praise
yeah,
indeed. Great praise indeed.
yeah.
I'm.
I really love
I
it.
tell you, I played the Resi 5 couple times, and I actually quite like Resi 5. I think Resi 5 got a bit of a bad rap for being a bad game. It's not a bad game.
It's not a bad game, but it's not a great game either.
It's fine. I played
Yeah.
Resi 4 a few times to the end. I played Resi 1 and 2 a few times to the end. Resi 3, I think I've only completed once or twice. I haven't played 6 or 7, but I tell you one that I've only played once from
You
beginning
have
to
played
end.
7.
I played 7, not to finish it.
Not yeah.
I tell you one that I finished, but I have only played once, and I would like to play it again, and that's Code Veronica. I think I would like to go back to Code Veronica at some point.
I've done Code. Oh yeah, Code Veronica is a great
Code
Resi game.
Veronica is great, yeah. So I would like to go
I
back to
never
Code Veronica.
finished Zero. I think that's the
Oh
only
yeah,
sort of
Zero. Forgot
mainline
about Zero. Yeah.
Resi Evil that
Yeah.
that and 6 are the only ones that I've not
Fair enough.
finished.
Right. Very good. All right. Let's move on then. To Donkey Kong. Now I know you've sent me some footage of Donkey Kong. I haven't had a
Mhm.
chance to do it yet. I'll probably get it up this week coming on the YouTube. Monkey Tail UK on YouTube. We have all our playthrough of It Takes Two there, and a few other clips, and you're definitely gonna see one very soon of Marius doing what was the score you sent me on.
Yeah, well, as promised, I wouldn't talk about Donkey Kong unless I beat my high score.
Yeah.
So I have a new high score of 245,200 points.
And what's that in pounds? So what?
Right. Well, you'll like this because guess what? I now have a Donkey Kong spreadsheet
Oh, wow.
with scores and shit on there to work out my average per life and things like that to try and get me to. So if you're trying to get to get to the kill screen,
Yeah.
you're probably looking at about 800 to 850,000.
Right.
So what your real target is 200,000 per life, and my total across 4 lives is currently near like 245.
And there's a leaderboard somewhere, right? You can.
Yes.
Where do you have to be to get into the leaderboard?
Oh, I have no idea. So there is like a Donkey Kong forum, but they seem to have, you need to have a log on for it to get in, and I haven't heard back from them yet. So, I mean, the top 10, 10th place is 1,100,000, 1,140,000.
Top
So
10.
that's top 10. Yeah.
Yeah. I meant like I didn't mean top 10. I meant like to get like a top 1,000 or something. You know, I mean, you know.
Um, from what I remember, when I was able to see the full list of the leaderboard, I would have been definitely top 1,000.
Okay, cool. And did you tell me something that was somebody famous that was quite good? Was it Eminem? Maybe I think it was.
Eminem, yeah, that's right. That to be honest, although ultimately I'd love to get to the kill screen.
Yeah.
My next real target is to beat Eminem.
Which
if I can beat Eminem,
what's his?
400 and something.
And if you do, does that make you the real Slim Shady?
I think it probably does.
Okay, just the real Slim Shady. That's the podcast title. If nothing else, you get some rap people podcast. What the fuck is this shit?
Yeah. 465,800 is his top score, or his recorded top score.
Very good. Okay, that's good. We won't hear about it until that score is beaten.
It's only. I'll refrain from Donkey Kong until
otherwise I'll start talking about gnomes. You know, I'll start talking about gnomes every podcast.
But I have nothing new to say until I've beaten my score.
Very good. Let's move over to the last part of the show, which is the why don't you? This is the part of the show we talk about. We give you a suggestion of something to do, something to experience, something to read, etc., and so on over the next couple of weeks. I'll start with a movie. It's on. I want to say it's on here in the UK. It's on Amazon Prime. Well, it's either on Amazon Prime or on Netflix. I think it's on Amazon Prime though. Called Palm Springs. Right now, I'm gonna tell you the beginning part of the description on that's on Prime, if I can remember more or less from my head, and why you wouldn't watch it, Marius, but then why you absolutely should watch it, right?
Okay.
So Palm Springs, I think it's something along the lines of it's a romantic comedy, like an unusual romantic comedy set in Palm Springs. I think something along those lines. And you go like, yep, next, yeah, you will just move along. This is essentially Groundhog Day, like a type of movie, you know, like there's Source Code, there's the Edge of Tomorrow, the one with Tom Cruise, and the one, you know, the one where he keeps dying. You haven't seen the Edge of Tomorrow? I think what it's called. I think it's called the Edge of Tomorrow. Well, it's not. I'll find out the name of the movie in a second. There's a Tom Cruise movie like that as well. But you know Groundhog Day. You know the premise.
Yeah.
So this character is set in that premise, but now without giving anything much away. Obviously, apart from I have given away that it is that type of movie, which you don't know. If you don't know anything about the movie, you start watching and you don't realize that. But then within 5-10 minutes, you realize it is that anyway. Right? So I kind of like gave away the first 10 minutes, but I think a lot of reviewers to review the movie, they have to kind of like talk about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with the Groundhog Day, you have the excellent Bill Murray stuck for hundreds of years, you know, like repeating the same day after the same day, and he learns everything, and then eventually he has to be good to get through whatever. Yeah, but it's very funny, right? Because where this one changes a bit is you have the character going through the same thing as well, but it's because of something that happens, which means he can bring other people into the loop.
Mm-hmm.
And first thing happens is he brings somebody into the loop by mistake, and then that person is so pissed off that's hunting him now for on every single loop, trying to kill him, which is very funny. And then he brings this other girl into the loop. So the I guess the difference on this one is you have two people going through the loop and working on it. It's very, very funny. There's a part because it's like it's at a wedding. He's at a wedding, and everyone is dressed like in tuxedos, everything, and he just comes in his shirt. He doesn't care because it makes no difference. But there's a part where he's dancing through the middle, like this is the beginning of the. He's doing the dance, and there's a guy which is very drunk, and he's dancing, and he knows obviously every move he's gonna do, and then he falls and he just pulls a chair and just puts the chair under him, and he sits on his that type of stuff. It's really cool. But yeah, what I liked about it is it's very well written, like I said, very funny, and the it's good. I haven't seen that type of movie with two people going through the loop rather than just one. It's very clever, and it wasn't like, oh, you need to be good to get out of here. It's the way they had to, the way to get out of the loop was I thought quite interesting. That I hadn't seen it before. I think you would really like it actually. Yeah, so that's Palm Springs. You don't seem convinced yet.
No, I've sort of heard about it before, and I've just distracted myself with. I mean, this might be my new why don't you? To be honest, I've just come across a video of Coney Hawk. Which is basically just somebody with like a traffic cone on a skateboard pushing it around various bits of a skate park. And it works really well. It's the type of thing it's like a barrier that's really heavily weighted, and it just works really well. I'm loving Coney Hawk. I recommend Coney Hawk.
I saw something on Twitter of somebody was searching for Tony Hawk, and then it's corrected to Tiny Hawk, and then he showed up a picture of a Tiny Hawk, which is quite good as well.
That is good, but
sorry, before we move over to yours, Palm Springs is great. Like I said, you should absolutely watch. But you alluded to not seeing Edge of Tomorrow. It's what it's called. Edge of Tomorrow is a Tom Cruise movie where it's alien invasion. Is like a high up in like a corner or something. He's quite high up in the ranks, and then but he gets thrown into the grunts to go and fight this thing, and he kind of like kills this alien, and then blood falls on top of him from the alien, and then he goes into the loop of being able to relive the day, and then he goes from scared about this to being a killing machine, within the thing. It's actually really, really good. You should absolutely watch Edge of Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow is brilliant. Yeah, it's one of the better Tom Cruise movies, actually. But Palm Springs is equally good for different reasons, because it's funny and intelligent and stuff like that. So yeah, those are my two recommendations: Edge of Tomorrow and by the way, fuck it, go and watch Groundhog Day as well. That's probably to be fair.
Yeah, I mean Groundhog Day is literally a rolling recommendation, isn't it?
It's the best out of the three, but but only for one reason. It's Bill Murray is absolutely excellent in this. I love that he grabs the kid every time falls from the tree. I'm not gonna grab you tomorrow if you don't say thank you. I love Groundhog Day. Right.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, watch Edge of Tomorrow, honestly, and Palm Springs. Palm Springs is easier because I think that's on Prime. I don't know where Edge of Tomorrow is, but Palm Springs is an easy recommendation. You can watch it straight away. Oh, and by the way, if we're talking about that type of movie, Source Code is also great. If you haven't seen Source Code is also great.
Is that the one on the train?
Yeah, that's one on the train. That's also great. Yeah. With Jack.
I did enjoy that.
Yeah. From the four I've just mentioned, that's probably the weaker of the four, but it's also quite good. Yeah. Yeah. Which should tell you how good the other ones are, if that's the weaker of the four. Yeah. Right. What have you got? What have you got for us? What's your Coney Hawk is your first one?
Coney Hawk is my first one, and and but the real one is a movie called Upgrade. It's a few years old now. I think it was 2018. Sort of dystopian future type setting, and this guy and his wife are they're attacked and sort of mugged, and both get shot. She gets killed, and he ends up being paralyzed.
Oh, well.
So he's in a wheelchair, but then he gets this sort of AI implant. So the AI can sort of control his body, which allows him to be able to walk again. And then he basically goes on a revenge. To avenge his wife, and but like then it goes on to sort of the turmoil and a bit of a battle between him and this AI as to what they want to do and how to go about it, which is really interesting. And the fight scenes are really good. Some really good fight scenes in there. Like the way that he moves and stuff, because it's a robot controlling him rather than a human being. The way that he moves and very precise and stuff in the fight scenes was really good. I really liked it. I
I mean,
definitely real strong recommendation for me.
I
This
think
one.
some great recommendations today. I'll definitely catch upgrade.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think you should. I think it's good.
I need to. I was gonna ask you a question. I was streaming the other day, and somebody was besmudging the good name of the great reggae singer and fighter. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah,
Because I do. It's the main man, Seagal.
Seagal. Yeah. Even though my mate called him Steven Seagal,
Yes.
which made me laugh. They were saying his movies were shit. Okay, can you educate? Well, I was about to say, can you educate them on why they're wrong and why the movies might be shit, but in terms of the choreography and the martial arts is actually really good. But I kind of was gonna ask you that, and I still am. But then you talked about revenge, and I have to ask you, what's the best revenge movie, really? But because he has a great one as well, doesn't he? Doesn't he have one where he has to recover from not being able to walk, and then I remember he's punching some board with some rope.
Is it Above the Law? No, that's
There's one
Nika.
where he's,
Oh my god!
you know what I'm on about. You know
Oh,
what I'm on about,
yeah, I
right?
know exactly what it is. Why is my brain failing me? Oh, I'm so angry with myself right now.
But
It's not Above the Law.
to our listeners,
Ah!
tell them why they're wrong about Steven Seagal. First of all, yeah, because I mean, Under Siege. Oh, you haven't Googled. Because am I wrong in saying?
Yeah, I am.
Am I wrong in saying that Under Siege is actually quite a good movie? You know, am I going completely crazy here?
And Under Siege is hard to kill.
Hard to
That's
kill.
the badger.
That's the
That
one.
was the hard to kill, or it might be Out for Justice. Out for Justice is probably the one actually. Oh god damn it! I'm gonna have to go back and watch some old Seagal movies. Damn it! Look what you've done to me.
I'm sorry.
Uh, so I think arguing against the statement Seagal movies are shit. It's actually quite a difficult argument in the main
Wow.
because most of his movies are he's done some look. It's just a fucking like constant stream of straight to DVD nonsense, to be honest with you, on a lot of his stuff.
I'm
His
disappointed.
early work is good. So like the aforementioned, like Above the Law, Hard to Kill, Out for Justice, Marked for Death, really good. And Under Siege is obviously that's the pinnacle of Seagal's
But
work. I think
I want to
anything after that
okay.
is
Listen,
pretty forgettable.
when I was defending the Seagal, I said his '90s stuff was good. But am I right in saying that at least the choreography was spot on? Because you know.
The choreography is. I'm not sure necessarily the choreography because like there's better choreography in some of the like Hong Kong movies. I would say, and some of the other sort of Eastern
But
martial arts movies. But like what you see is real shit. That is like Seagal doing Aikido. That is it's all genuine Aikido moves fitted into into the choreography, and like that's how Seagal trains. That's like what you see is what it's like to train with Seagal. I understand.
My dad was a big Seagal fan, as was many dads, I think. And I think what he used to say that I used to really like is when he hits people, they stay hit. And it's true, isn't it? That's what I like about him. When he hits people, he hits them. You know, like it feels like, wow, he breaks stuff, and it's like
Yes.
it's the and that's what I like about Seagal. So I haven't seen Seagal movies in a long time. I think I need to watch that one where he has to recover from being in a
Out for
wheelchair.
Justice, yeah, definitely.
I
Out for
think I'm gonna have
Justice.
to. I remember really
Yeah.
liking that. I remember really liking. But anyway, going back to what's a really good revenge movie. If we just finish on that, because you talked about Upgrade. Out of top of my head, there's a Denzel Washington movie where he is a bodyguard in South America. The ringing a bell? Wow, I'm giving you lots of recommendations here. And so I'm trying to get the name of the movie. It be good if I know how to spell this. You go for yours first.
I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, the most obvious one for me, because that's entirely what the whole thing is about, and it's the only one it's the first thing that pops to mind straight away, is Kill Bill.
Oh, fuck's sake! You just ruined my thing here. I mean, Kill Bill is the answer, isn't it? Fuck's sake! But
it is.
Man on Fire. Man on Fire is the doesn't watch the one. You should absolutely watch Man on Fire. So he's
that has been on my list for a bit that I've never quite got round to.
Man on Fire is excellent. It's really, I mean, it's really excellent. Yeah. But yeah, I think you're right. No, Man on Fire is great, but the answer is Kill Bill. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, indeed. I think there's no.
I'm sure there's a Bruce. I'm sure there must be a Bruce Lee one where he goes in.
I mean,
revenge.
loads. I mean, I've just done a quick Google for best revenge movies, and I mean, there's loads on there that I've never even fucking heard of. They've put Joker as a revenge movie. I don't go with that one, to be honest with you. What one that John Wick? John Wick is a cool revenge movie.
A great revenge movie. Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, Google's pretty found. I mean, the answer is it is.
It's Kill Bill. It's followed by John Wick and followed by Man. You should watch Man on Fire. You would really like it. It's Denzel at his best. It's really good. It's really good. Yeah.
Oh, another one that's popped up on the Google actually is The Foreigner.
Yes, that's good. We watched, myself and my girlfriend watched that on Netflix, like probably like a year ago, and I thought it was going to be rubbish, but it's actually really good. Jackie Chan.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be rubbish as well. I think that was during a time of Jackie Chan was doing some not of his not his best work.
Yeah.
And that was really good. I think he actually delivers some good acting chops in that movie.
He does, and still kicks some ass as well. Yeah.
Yeah, not just the martial arts stuff. And he plays a quite different character to a lot of his roles. And yeah, I think that's I'd completely forgotten about the movie until I've just seen it. But
it's called I Foreigner, isn't it, or something like that? Or is it The Foreigner?
No, The Foreigner.
The Foreigner. That's it. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah. People should watch that for sure. Yeah. Right, so lots of recommendations there, for sure. But so, are we saying Seagal movies, they're rubbish, but the actual fight scenes are not bad at all?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think some of his early ones are good for what they are. They're stupid action movies, but
the fight scenes are good. So we're landing on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
okay.
And it's like that is Aikido in his movies. That's as he would train it if he was like in a class training Aikido. That like it is real as far. There's a whole other topic there as to realness of Aikido technique, but we haven't got time for that one now.
No, we need to
but like yeah, literally like if you went to not that he teaches or anything anymore, but like that is how Seagal trains. Like it's literally just that those are his techniques just shown on film. So there's Whereas a lot of other things are sort of changed and tweaked, and it's not really how it is. Those very much are.
The way to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, we're gonna leave it there. If you like the podcast, the best thing you can do for us really is leave us a review on your platform of choice. Tell a friend about the podcast. That's another great thing you can do for us. And if you're not subscribed, if you just happen to search for Steven Seagal and this podcast showed up,
Please, I would fucking be so happy if you found this podcast because you searched for Steven Seagal and somehow this popped up.
And if you search for Eminem and this popped up as well, also equally stay because we can.
And I damn well want to know about it if you have found this podcast through either of those methods, please.
If you're looking for the real Slim Shady or Seagal and you got our podcast, please get in contact. And you can do so on Twitter at MonkeyTailUK or by sending us an email to podcast@monkeytail.co.uk. We'll definitely be very happy to hear from you or anyone else that is, but especially from you if you came to us by a Steven Seagal fandom. I've been Bruno Pinto.
I've got nothing. I've just been loving this podcast. It's good. I've got an absolute bounty of recommendations this month.
You absolutely do, yeah. And by the way, Edge of Tomorrow is like you need to watch that.
I may have found a way to watch that movie whilst we've been recording.
Fantastic, good. Watch it anyway. We're gonna leave it there. See you in a couple of weeks. Stay safe and all that good stuff. And we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye bye.